Hello friends and welcome back for another episode of Indie Impressions. My name is Nick and today we're going to be checking out something called See You on the Other Side. This is a first-person atmospheric puzzle game designed by a group of game design students and essentially will have us trying to grapple with the concept of seeing things that are lit up become tangible and things that are not lit up become intangible, very much like the premise behind the game Closure, which you may or may not be familiar with. It's another indie game, and the developers have actually come out and said that they were significantly influenced by that in the creation of this one. I've played about 5 or 10 minutes of this so far just to get a feel for what exactly we're going to expect in this one, and I have to say, the atmosphere, the art style, the presentation, all very, very good, so I'm eager to show you this one. I think you're going to like it quite a bit. Let's get right into things. So in this world, you, the player, don't collide with unlit parts of surfaces, and you don't cast a shadow. So that's a very important point to keep in mind, considering shadows are kind of your way to transport yourself through solid objects, and when your goal is to escape from a prison, that is kind of the thing that would become the crux, right? If you can just use your shadow, well, basically hold something in front of you with a light source and walk backward, and you've kind of solved the whole game. Okay, I got it, let's go. So the game, in addition to being monochromatic and having a really cool kind of hatched art style for all the textures, we're also dealing with really sweet background music, which is sort of like just a melancholy ambience that keeps you in the mood for what's going on. So let's have a look around here. We wake up in our cell, can tell everything is very stark. We've got a lot of contrast going on here. We can press E to pick up objects, and we've got a light source up above. We've also got a window with a moon and a little plant, and I saw some lightning going on outside, and we should be able to just go ahead and pick this up. Now, what's this going to do for us? Let's sort of take a quick look. We can hold this up. There are dynamic shadows, which should mean if I hold this in the right place with the light against, it should actually let me just walk right through this wall, but I don't think that's actually how I'm meant to solve that puzzle. I think I actually wanted to put that up in front of the door. Which would actually, or in front of the window rather, which would block the entire thing. But anyway, that's one way to get out into this hall there. I guess there's supposedly a few different ways you can solve that problem. But we're going to look around, see if there's any other details worth picking up here. The other rooms seem like they're all pretty much blocked from my passage, because they don't have any other objects to deal with. And if we really wanted to be a bit cheeky here, we could just jump right out of this wall and off the world, which is not really going to help us out any, but it is nice to know that you can do such a thing if you want to, immerse yourself in the concept, which is a thing that I am very much in favor of doing in most cases. I really enjoy the way that this is presented. The art style, again, all of it being sort of drawn in almost like with scratchy pen, is a style that I haven't seen done too many times. I've seen it a couple of times, and pretty much every time I've liked it. But in this case, since we're actually dealing with light and shadow, it's a very useful and very complementary art style. I think it goes well with the idea at hand. So it looks like all of these rooms fairly useless. Not really much we're going to do with it. There's a very creepy painting hanging on the wall in there. And just some more, blackness in every direction. So this is where the premise starts to come to fruition. As you can see here, there is completely stark shadow dividing this space from that space. Clearly we're supposed to jump over to the next spotlight. You can see a very picturesque looking shot here as we look out towards the cell blocks, reminding me a bit of The Walking Dead, which it probably shouldn't. And then we've got a flickery light here, which is going to determine whether or not we can stand on this space. So as soon as that lights up, we want to definitely jump through there post-haste. So there's another space over there that maybe we're going to get a chance to explore later on. I'm not sure. I didn't get that far to see. But then as we approach the end of this wall, or this hallway rather, we've got this pipe here which has this neon light that's putting a pretty broad shadow here, and that's kind of our cue to realize, well, nowhere else to go other than through this wall. So in a way, not the most intuitive level design 100%, because there's not really a reason for us to think that this is necessarily a place we want to go, when there's also a few other places like over there, and we just think maybe we could somehow find a light source or something to carry us through. Not the case. So we're going to go ahead and jump through here, and that will actually take us to another room, where you can see there is a piston or some sort of a pipe performing some sort of mechanistic tendency. I'm not really sure what it's doing there, but it is definitely our passage to the next place we need to go, which is going to be through there. It also seeming to expel some sort of water or fumes or something. And then we've got this little stove over here, which you would think, given the amount of light that it's putting out, we would be able to stand here. Not so much the case. And maybe if I jump all the way close to it. No, okay, so still not the case. It makes you very curious in a game like this where there's so much latitude for how you walk through the spaces, if maybe there aren't some hidden areas, which I think that would be my favorite part of creating a game like this, is trying to make bizarre little out-of-the-way spots that you might end up. And then we've also got a hint here if we lose too many times. If only I could get through this wall. I actually did figure that out. It was just sort of me playing around. Alright, so now we find our way into this room here, which seems to have a big old vent or grate, which you can see has quite a ways down to it, and something is being expelled here. I guess we will grab this box, and the idea being, this box actually has a dynamic shadow cast from it, just like the painting that we picked up in the first place. So we should be able to parse that there's a light source up above, and how do we get through objects? Well, we create our own shadows. So if I hold up that box, that allows me to fall into there, and I'm not sure, did I do the right thing? Oh, I guess I did. We just loaded into the next area. So that was as far as I'd gotten before. So this is all going to be fresh material going forward. So we've got some kind of a sewer layout here, and it looks like the water is a safe space. So one of the better lit sewers that I've ever seen in my life, and I've certainly been in a number of them in various video games. It actually looks quite nice down here, aside from the water, which we're not sure to what degree it is polluted. And this is a very brightly lit area. This is it's got to be some kind of a giant, massive silo or a tank or something. I'm not sure what we'd be doing in this space. Maybe some sort of a sewage treatment plant. And then we find ourselves here with I guess this is going to be a magnet that we might use in some sort of like a car crusher scenario. And, ooh, this is an interesting art style. It went from being sort of the hatched look to being more almost like cel-shaded. And we can actually pick this up, and I'm going to assume we probably want to drop this here, right? Because it looks like it's got a bit of a, maybe a magnetic quality to it. And then I'm not sure why we want to be up here, but let's see what happens if we start interacting with stuff. So let's use with E. Yep, okay, we got that part. That's going to move the magnet over there, which is going to make us much closer to being able to do something with it. Alright, seems like a pretty simple thing now, but where is this going to take us is the question. Now I should be able to just push this under it, and it is grabbed to the top. And I'm guessing there's a reason we want to have that attached when we move it back over. Oh, this fence is blocking my way. Okay, so I know that much. So there is a circular hole that we've created in the ground. I'm guessing if I fall through here, that is death. Okay. There's not really a way to know that until you just dive in, from what I can tell anyway. It would be kind of cool if you could see through it, but then that would kind of defeat the puzzle, or the point of the puzzle anyway. And also kind of strange that with the ceilings, it looks like you can actually just jump straight into them, so that's actually not an acceptable way to go. Oh, what's going on over here? We've actually got a fan on the wall. And I can jump through the ceiling here, but I guess not in the other places. But that's clearly not where we want to be. We want to go where the brightness is. And try and solve that puzzle again with the magnetic deal. Now, what would I want to do to create a scenario? Oh, I know what we want to do. We want to have... Alright, so see where the light source is? That's actually casting it straight ahead. When you see on the wall, it looks like the magnetic thing is actually casting that sort of a rectangular shape. When I add this block to the bottom of it, and then I put it back into position, it should create a bit of a rectangular nodule, which I imagine I'm going to be able to make a couple of, and then just jump through that grate. So the hint was being very generous. Oh, I think that actually is automated. The other thing I'm wondering is if I could just get up on top of it, which I might be able to do, and then I wouldn't even need to do that at all. I'll just ride the thing back over, but I guess I couldn't really use the switch and also ride it at the same time. So you got me there. Alright, so it looks like that is indeed what's happening. And we should be able to just jump right through this, provided I can get... Yep, okay, we could get high enough. I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to. It also wasn't totally clear whether or not the shadow was extending far enough down, but no big deal. Alright, so now we've got a room with what appears to be some slowly rotating fans, a staple for any institutional complex, it seems. Oh, look at this, creating quite an interesting pattern here on the floor. And I should be able to just jump straight across these if my timing is alright, which it is today anyway. And then we'll just use these wedges to get across to the next large light area. And this area seems to be very well lit, which I'm wondering if maybe there's going to be a trap, maybe things will go out. Ooh, interesting. What's going on over there? What would create such a pattern? I guess there's maybe some grating that's having a light cast through it. I'm not sure. We'll maybe find out. But lovely ambience so far. I'm really enjoying the art style. My only minor complaint is that sometimes I feel like there could be a little bit better anti-aliasing. This is a Unity game, so I'm not really going to complain too much. I think the art style, again, is phenomenal, but just when I see all those jaggies off in the distance, it makes me a little sad because it's so pretty looking as it is. You know, why sell the experience with those? But can't always be helped. May have something to do with the texture work as well. Might have to, sometimes you have to sacrifice. Actually, it looks like it's happening on seam, so I take that back. And this looks like a clipping texture. That's actually where the intersection is happening. You can see that this, I don't know what we're calling this, I guess a banister or some sort of a handle or railing, seems to jut up at a different angle, and then where this wall meets a much sharper angle, those two intersect, and that's why you have that flickery texture. It's a thing that happens pretty frequently in games, and a lot of times, if you do it just right, you won't even notice, but, you know, varies. Alright, so now we've got some sort of a... Oh, did the lights go out? Oh, the lights went out. We have the classic Unreal moment. Alright, so let's use this ball, which seems to emit light, and we'll just travel right along with it through what now seems to appear to be sort of a pseudo-marble maze. Oh, I can actually block it by standing in front of it. That's actually quite useful for me, although it may go around me at any given moment. I guess I'd rather know where it is at all times, right? So as long as I stay in pretty close proximity, I shouldn't be in too much danger. And I assume we're going to play some games with this and probably put it through some railings, which are going to lead me over to that ladder shape light fixture pattern going on the wall. I did notice that there were some railings here, so let's see if we can maybe navigate through those. Hopefully I can't drop this thing off, and would have been all too easy, right, if we could just pick up this object, but no, that is not the case. Oh, I love that there were dynamic shadows on the railings as well. Very nice. So now we might have a little bit of exploration to do, unless I'm just supposed to go straight through this wall. I'm not actually sure. Whoa! Oh, that was a bit of a strange glitch. I'm not sure why that just happened. Oh, I got out. Okay, maybe that was just a ladder and I just misunderstood. Oh. Okay, I've been targeted. Usually having lights on you in this game is a good idea. So I'm going to try and use that to my advantage to not die. We've got the Chase is On music going. So let's try and just stay wherever these searchlights are going to get to me. That is a really picturesque and very cool rendering that I'm looking at right there. Even just if it was a drawing, I would be very excited to see that. Alright, so now we don't want to have the searchlights on us because it seems like that's going to stop me from going through these fences, which appear to be a thing that I need to do. I'm not sure yet if there's maybe another way around, but I'm also not sure if there's a way to lose these searchlights on me. It seems like they just follow me wherever I go. And very creepy still. I mean, even though we're outside and things are starting to get a little bit more action-packed feeling, there's still this melancholy vibe about it, which I think is just partially to do with the art style, or very much to do with the art style, actually. So at this point, I suppose, even though there's action music, it doesn't seem like I'm in any clear and present danger. There isn't really a time factor as far as I can tell. We're just supposed to watch out, and I think we want to head over there, because I see there's some, looks like lights, perhaps, up on metal poles or something. Maybe we can get in there and there's something we can do to get away from these searchlights for long enough to be able to create some other scenario. And yeah, there's no way to get far enough away from them that I can make a jump through one of these fences, it seems. And I did jump, or, you know, try jumping through or running ahead far enough to, what I would think to be, to get ahead. Nope. Alright, nothing going on over here. How about in here? It looks like we've got a little tunnel. Oh, can I hide? Or is that just the way out? Oh. That's all that I had to do. I thought there was going to be a whole bunch more. See you on the other side. So there we go. There's perhaps our ending? We'll let the light fade out and see what happens. Alright, so that's our credits. So a very cool little game. It wasn't as long as I was hoping, but it was really fun, and it definitely had a great sense of ambience and art style, and I think you guys probably are hopefully going to enjoy it. We assume a 3D game universe with one core rule. In this world, you don't collide with the unlit parts of surfaces. Do players of the game that are not told the rule understand it just as well or better than players who are told the rule in the beginning of the game? Do they enjoy the game more or less than they're told the rule in the beginning? That's an interesting question, actually, and if you kind of rush through that. Essentially, they were saying, so if you don't understand the premise of this game, would you have a better time or a worse time playing it? Would it be harder to parse what your goals and objectives are? I feel in a game like this, where things are very much laid out in front of you, it's not going to be too bad. But if it was a more obtuse task and there weren't so many illustrations, and as well as even just some straight-up hints, you know, if that all wasn't a factor, then it might be a little harder. And I guess, is this going to take us back out? I like when we get dropped back off at the title screen. I always feel like that's a nice way to end it, but I guess not in this case, unless it's just going to cut at one point. But I will use this moment to wrap up the episode. If you guys want to go check out See You on the Other Side, is available for free. Link will be in the description, so you can go ahead and download it. Tell a friend. Let me know what you think about it in the comments below the video. I'd love to hear your opinions. Where do you think this could go if it was developed further? What other kind of exercises or different permutations on that objective would you see or like to see? I'm glad we took a couple of different directions with it. The light ball was kind of a neat object to interact with, and I think there was definitely more potential there to see more. But I'm sure there were hundreds of other things we could have come up with, so I'm curious to hear what your opinions are, and if you enjoyed it yourself. So with that, oh, I forgot before I actually wrap things up, also feel free to address that question about if you knew what the objectives were beforehand, or if you didn't, do you think you would have a better or worse time? That is definitely a good point to talk on, so I'd love to hear your opinions on that as well. But thank you everybody for being here. Be sure to check out the game itself. Check out my other links in the description, my social media stuff, my Twitter, my Facebook, and indie-impressions.com, where you can catch all of my episodes neatly organized and categorized. Feel free to leave a comment. Let me know what you think, like I said 100 times already. And then be sure to come back again tomorrow. New episodes are every single day in Indie Impressions, so youtube.com/RockLeeSmile. If you enjoyed it, feel free to leave a like. I appreciate it very much. Support means a ton to me. And I will catch you back again tomorrow. So I hope you have a lovely night. See you then.